When you work in a firehouse 7 blocks from the 2 tallest buildings in New York, you get to know every step, every staircase, every story.
This morning, Jim, couldn't get too close to that razor blade.
I'm James Hanlon. I've been a New York City firefighter for 9 years at Ladder 1 downtown. Last summer, the summer before 9/11, there were days we'd go to the Trade Center 5 times in a single shift.
The 10-4, we're going to also send you some help.
My point is, we knew those towers as well as anybody. But nobody, nobody expected September 11th.
Go to the Trade Center.
On that day, guys from my firehouse, my best friends, were some of the first firefighters in the Tower 1 after the plane hit. What they did that day, what everyone there did, was remarkable.
Chief!
And almost as remarkable, it was captured on videotape, inside the tower, beginning to end. The tape was shot by 2 brothers, Jules and Gédéon Naudet.
Holy shit.
They're documentary filmmakers and old friends of mine.
I don't know. They always say there is always a witness for history. I guess that day we were chosen to be the witness.
The strange thing is, the tape, the whole story, it kind of happened by accident. I mean, Jules and Gédéon didn't mean to make a documentary about 9/11. We wanted to make a documentary about a firefighter. That's how the whole thing got started.
9, 10, 1, 2, 3.
More to the point, the plan was to follow a rookie. On the job, we call them probies.
The idea was to show how a kid, almost, become a man in 9 months.
Which is their probationary period, where they have to prove themselves.
Let's go, guys. Hurry up, get in the apartment.
We teamed up, and by June of 2001,
Yeah, we're gonna make our way to the back.
the 3 of us were out at the fire academy shooting the training.
Open up. Move in. Off the ceiling. Sweep the floor.
After a few weeks of learning the basics, a probie may think he knows what it takes to be a real fireman. He's in for a rude awakening.
Can I have the lights, please? This is a probie. Became engulfed in fire. Another firefighter, no hood. Be prepared. Wear your gear. Go into a building. You never know what's gonna happen.
The fire is starting to really roll over my head now. The force of it knocked me down, knocked my helmet off, and my hands were gone.
I take 3 steps into the apartment, and the floor gave way, and we all went. And I'm trying to get my body off the ground now because I'm laying in boiling water. My right leg was paralyzed for 6 months.
This job is no joke.
When you get out, there's the real world. Don't be no hot dog show-off jerk. Pay attention to the senior men and do what you're told.
Stay low, stay low.
Toward the end of the initial training, we began looking for one out of the 99 new probies to follow.
My name's Paul Denver.
John Carroll.
Antonios Benetatos. Tony for short.
I was a police officer.
For a while, I was a pizza man, actually, an Irish pizza man in the Bronx.
This is my first job. It sounds kind of cheesy, but I always kind of wanted to be a hero, and this is really the only thing you could do that you can do that.
Immediately, we're like, okay, this is the kid. This is the kid. Let's go.
We got Tony assigned to my firehouse, one of the biggest in the city. It's Ladder 1, plus a whole other company, Engine 7.
I'm so glad I took this job. Can't beat it.
My wife, sometimes she gets like so frustrated at me because I'm so happy to come to work, you know? And she gets up in the morning, she's like, oh, I gotta go to work again. Meanwhile, I'm up 5:30 in the morning, and I'm like, honey, I'm going to work.
You don't actually wear that.
That's what it says.
They are the greatest, incredible guys.
Lover.
They're guys who fought some of the worst fires you can imagine.
What's up with that shirt? What's the matter?
Soon, they'd face the unthinkable. Question was, would Tony be ready?
I'm terrified. This is what I want to do, but it's scary. I just hope I can do everything that I'm supposed to do, you know? Because I want to help these guys and I want to be a good fireman, but you know, I'm still worried about how I'm going to actually react when there's fire flying over my head. Here goes.
What's your first name?
Tony.
You know you come in on Thursday, right?
Thursday? I wasn't sure of that.
Thursday night.
I am now, sir.
Do you need to sit down?
Yes, sir.
You
Thank
want
you.
to stop calling me sir?
I'm a little bit nervous.
All right.
What am I supposed to do when I come in the morning? Anything I should know?
Be on time.
I want to make sure I do everything I'm supposed to do.
Thing is, when you're a probie, what you're supposed to do
We gotta do the sheets. We change the sheets in the mornings.
is pretty much everything.
More news and traffic coming up. It's 6:22.
Get all the wheels, then we start up top and we wash the rig down.
Probie rules. Probie always gets in the sink. Probie does not go in the TV room, ever. Probie makes sure there's always hot coffee in the morning.
You have an iron at home?
Actually, I do not, sir.
You don't?
No.
Probie in a lot of trouble. Take two.
I think I'm doing decently. You know, I'm still waiting for a fire, that's all. I'm just waiting for a fire. And I think that'll, you know, make a pretty big difference.
Engine, ladder.
Should we grab that big long thing from the back too?
Thing is, guys say there's two kinds of probies.
You're getting closer.
Black clouds and white clouds. When a black cloud comes to the firehouse, that probie, he brings all the fires in the city with him. White cloud, just the opposite. No fires.
Don't get me wrong, there were fires. Just not when Tony was on duty. The kid was one very white cloud.
So what do you say? Does it feel like fire today? Or... Yeah?
Okay, so we got a suspicious fire. Do we have any smoke condition at all? Negative.
False alarm.
What are you doing over there?
So did you catch a job or not?
No. I think it was just an elevator smoking.
Tony was ready though, right?
I was ready.
Tony was nervous, of course. Terribly nervous. And as the days would pass, Tony, waiting for his first fire, wanted to prove to the other guys, and even more to himself, that he was going to be a real great firemen,
Like, Tony. I'll be right back.
the guys were not going to make it easy on him.
No one was singling Tony out. We do it to every probie.
We're gonna break your chops till you laugh about it.
Right.
Because that's how we do it.
All
We'll
right.
tease you to death until you start laughing.
Right. No problem.
You gotta love this stuff.
No, I...
Sooner or later, and you will.
But before you can love it, you've got to learn it.
Now, say you got up there now, got your helmet on, your bunker gear, and you got to get your mask on. How you going to do that without letting go?
I don't know. When we hit, what's the best way to hit?
On one knee.
Hit. It's hot in here. Hurry up. Make a quick scream. It's hot. You gotta go under the bed. You go under the bed.
The next time you do this for real, you're going to be more cautious.
Right.
You're fine. All I want you to do is learn to relax.
All right.
You got to remain calm.
Okay.
So you got to control that surge.
Okay.
Okay?
Not bad.
No.
Not bad.
Yeah, that handwriting's getting better already.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Payday today, baby.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. For 2 weeks, I got $672.25.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. You couldn't even buy a six-pack with that. Holy crap.
It's starting pay, you know? If I wanted to get rich, I would have become a lawyer. But I wanted something that I'd be able to live with for the rest of my life. This I can live with.
A lot of the guys feel that way.
If you need to get up in the morning and look yourself in the mirror and say you're doing something with your life.
Somebody's in there. Hit the door.
You do your job, you risk your life to help people. And with time, you become part of a unique, extended family.
We do a lot of things with our families together. You know, you got a bunch of guys here that just, they want to be here.
Just making some onions and mushrooms for the steaks. How you doing, Jimbo? Huh? You doing pretty good? Yeah? Look at the go. Ah, this is a good song here.
Tell me one other job where everyone sits down to dinner together every night.
Sit down, Steve. You got to be tired now.
Let me help you, Steve, because I think I'm the only guy that helps you in this firehouse.
I know it was you, Fredo. You broke my heart.
It's been 4 weeks, I think, 5 weeks, something like that. And I'm still no fire. It'll come. Probably when I'm asleep and not ready for it. That's when it'll come.
It's 2:30 in the morning, bro. you can sleep. You can.
All right.
Trust me. When the alarm goes off, they'll come and get you.
Engine, ladder.
I'll hold the camp when I get back to port.
Shut down, stand! Shut down.
I got to spray water. You're getting closer.
There you are, Tony. Look, your first fire. And it was a car fire, no less.
That's all right. My first fire was a garbage can fire on West Broadway in Franklin.
Listen, Tony was getting closer.
Did he wave you?
But for the record, that was some flame.
Look at all the smoke.
It wasn't a real fire.
Hey, Chief, come see his first fire.
If they're all like that, it's going to be a fun 20 years.
Hey, there's fire over here. Here's the fire, see? Stretch a line, put out the stakes.
By the end of August, we knew that we had a great cooking show, and there were no fires.
Waiting for a job, that was a very big concern. But every time we would talk with some of the senior guys, they always told us, well, be careful what you wish for.
Yesterday, a 27-year-old firefighter, in Staten Island he was stationed, went to a job and he passed away. This guy left behind a 2-year-old son and a baby on the way. You know, this dude was just expecting to go home and see his girlfriend after the tour that day, you know? And, well, we'll go to the funeral on Saturday and what can you say?
Detail. Hut.
I look back to last summer, and it doesn't just seem like a different time. It seems like a different world. At the time, we didn't think there could be anything worse than losing a single firefighter. I mean, looking back, we were kind of innocent, especially Tony.
A bunch of the guys were talking about what different parts usually get them at the funeral. When the coffin went past, that was a little rough. I don't know. I hope it's my last one.
So go straight up right now. There's a lot of things going on at all times, you know? Shit's hitting the fan, the roof starts to collapse, you gotta get off. You know, you gotta really improvise.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Basically, you have to be on the top of your game.
Right.
You're not the OV. You're on the top of your game. This is not a joke, this job. You know?
Right.
It's a lot of things to think about, you know? And tunnel vision, focus, really, because that's what's gonna keep you alive, and that's what's gonna give you the opportunity to help anybody else.
Right.
Right. You ready to go down?
Fire or no fire, Tony had learned a lot that summer.
Get him over the roof, make sure he gets down.
Sure, he had a ways to go, but we'd teach him. Far as we knew, there was plenty of time. A few days later, Jules cooked a French dinner for the guys. At least he tried to.
Decided to cook leg of lamb, which I told him for a long time was one of my specialties.
I think he cooked one, and we really needed at least 5.
Where's Frenchie? A couple more meals like this, we'll be able to share shirts.
All right, I got a small piece, so what? Not my mistake.
We stayed up late, just telling jokes and busting chops.
This is it. That's all that's left.
This is the best part of the meat.
Even though the guys were making fun of us because we didn't cook enough, we were all having a great time. We were getting accepted.
Touchdown! Oh. You were just shaking it in the head. I don't know.
We all joked all night long. It was really a great night. Little did we know.
It was the night of September 10th.
It's going to be a beautiful day today. Sunshine throughout. Low humidity. Really a splendid September day. The afternoon temperature about 80 degrees. Great weather for the primary election. Tonight clear and cool, low 60 in Midtown.
It's begun to sound like some sort of a cliche. But really, September 11th started out like every other day.
Well, currently winds out of the northwest at 6 miles per hour. Relative humidity 70%. 66 in Newark, 64 degrees in Bridgeport, 67 in Midtown, and heading for 80.
8 o'clock in the morning,
Don't throw the fat away.
the day guys were just coming in. I was off that day. 13 guys from my firehouse were on.
Whoa! What happened?
Around 8:30.
Ladder.
I believe the run came in.
Get the run for the gas leak, or an odor of gas in the street, actually, I think it was.
It's just Lispinard and Church, odor of gas. And we responded, arrived in minutes.
You know, I don't think anything of it. You get on the rig, you go, you say, all right, it's an odor of gas.
Jules was riding with the battalion chief, Joseph Pfeiffer, videotaping.
It was just another call, and I'm riding with the battalion chief.
It was basically camera practice. See, Jules had only been shooting for a few weeks. Before that, Gédéon was the main cameraman.
Every time the battalion goes, I go. You know, I just need to practice, so I shoot. And I don't stop.
You want to just check the water gas pop over here? The gas main's right here. Right down.
We checked the area with meters, and it was kind of routine and pretty simple.
It was 8:46 in the morning.
And then we heard a plane come over, and in Manhattan, you don't hear planes too often, especially loud ones.
Right then and there, I knew that this was going to be the worst day of my life as a firefighter.
Immediately, I knew this was an accident.
What am I doing on this? Go to the trade center.
We knew, this was going to be something unusual, something tough, but it would be something we could handle or at least deal with.
Oh my God. That looked like a direct attack.
Chief Pfeiffer made the first official report.
Battalion went to Manhattan. We have a number of floors on fire. It looked like the plane was aiming towards the building. Transmit a third alarm. We'll have the staging area at Vesey and West Street.
Yes, sir.
Probably a 2-minute ride, but it seemed like it was forever because there was a lot of things going through your head.
Felt sorry for the people, the people inside the building. What was going to happen, nobody had any idea. We've never experienced something like this before.
Everyone we was passing was looking up. It's like the world just stopped.
We are just currently getting a look at the World Trade Center. We have something that has happened here. Flame and an awful lot of smoke from one of the towers. Whatever has occurred has just occurred within minutes, and we are trying to determine exactly what's on.
As we swung around in front of World Trade, my mind tells me, wow, this is bad.
What do we do? Like, what do we do for this?
We park right under the awning of One World Trade Center. Chief Pfeiffer puts his gear on, and I remember asking him, Chief, can I come in with you? I want to come in with you. And he says, yep.
Yeah, you stay with me.
Come in with me, never leave my sight.
Who got the chance?
I go in, and I hear screams, and right to my right, there is 2 people on fire, burning. I just didn't want to film that. It was like, no one should see this.
Pfeiffer was the first chief into the building. Right away, a guy from the Port Authority told him the damage was somewhere above the 78th floor. But all you had to do was look around. It was obvious. Something had happened right there in the lobby.
You just saw that all the windows were blown out.
The lobby looked like the plane hit the lobby.
Later, they'd figure out that flaming jet fuel had shot straight down the elevator shaft.
All of this damage was done already. People was all over the place. So you knew it was going to be worse when we got upstairs.
Flames are shooting out. Smoke is pouring out.
I want you to get an engine and team up. Get an outside line. Walk to 7. Okay, I want you to hook up any higher than 70. What's going on? 78.
My main concern was we had 20 floors of people above.
Chief, do you have any idea where the floors are?
And we had to figure out a way to get them out.
You don't have an elevator yet?
As it turned out, we had no usable elevators.
Any elevators working?
With the elevators out, there was only one way to get up there. Walk.
Companies come in. You see them with a concerned look on their face. And they're sent up.
A firefighter in full gear, carrying 60-something pounds of hose and equipment. Takes about a minute to climb one flight of stairs. These guys were looking at 80 stories just to get there. Then they'd start working.
I felt the mood that we were going to put the fire out. Everyone seemed to be confident. I know I was.
You basically looked at it and said, okay, we got 10, 20 stories of fire. We'll deal with it. We'll get up there. We'll get to it.
There are fire crews just screaming into this area from every conceivable direction.
By this time, some of the top chiefs in the department had joined Chief Pfeiffer, running the command post, sending guys upstairs.
Every time I looked around, it was new faces. Some that I recognized, I had seen Chief Pronti, great guy, white hair, mustache, the perfect grandfather that you'd like to have. I remember seeing Lieutenant Fody, who was working with 9 engine. Said hello and then started going up.
Another of the men who went up was Lieutenant Kevin Pfeiffer. He was in charge of Engine 33, and he was the chief's brother.
I just remember we both looked at each other, said a few words, but it was more the look with a real concern that this was going to be something tough.
It's going to be a tough job. It's going to be a long job. They'll put it out. That's what they do.
The last time Jules had seen his brother was an hour ago, at the firehouse. Far as Jules knew, Gédéon had followed Tony, the probie, into the tower.
When we had left for the odor of gas in the street, for me, it was in the engine. And then when we arrived to the trade center, he went up immediately with the guys. So for me, my brother is going up the stairs.
It turns out, Gédéon was with Tony.
Engine 7, ladder 1. This is firefighter Benetados.
But Tony was still at the firehouse.
Yeah. No, I was off duty.
And now he'd been ordered to stay there.
Everybody's been recalled. All available units must come back to the firehouse.
While Tony tried to keep up with the phones,
This is firefighter Benetados.
Gédéon took his camera and started walking down towards the trade center. He was sure his brother was inside, and he wanted to get to him.
I remember slowly walking down to the World Trade Center. What really stuck in my mind is passing by the people and filming them and filming their astonishment. And the eyes saying, this is not happening. I remember tilting the camera back and forth between the people and the tower in front of me.
Both towers of the World Trade Center have been hit by aircraft. Both are in flames. Both suffered explosions.
There is black smoke coming from both of the towers. It's a horrific scene here. There's debris flying through the air over the East River here into Brooklyn. What appears to be...
Mayday. There were 2 planes. I saw the second one hit. It hit the other tower.
All we knew was that a second plane hit, and we had a lot of people trapped.
Stay together. Stay together. Let me know what's going on. We're just going to have to walk. One way to go. Second plane is with motherfuckers. All right.
Now the Chiefs would have to set up a whole other operation over in Tower 2.
Wait, no, I'm going to send him up. I get no chief up there.
When the second plane hit, that's when you could see fear.
Both of them are on fire.
You could see it in everybody's eye.
Tell your co-workers to with you.
There were people from all over the world in these streets. Different colors, different languages. On those few blocks between the firehouse and the World Trade Center, the entire world was there.
There's two aircraft. Two aircraft. The first one on one World Trade Center. The second one just happened.
And they were all looking at the same thing and talking about the same thing and reacting the same way.
Is it a plane or a bomb? You saw a plane going? A plane went straight into the building, right there into the side.
Plane?
Yes. How big is the plane? Yeah.
That was a direct hit.
Huge one. There were two planes?
Yeah.
There's two. One in each building.
Yeah, I saw the last one.
We heard boom in the whole building. What are those people going to do? On the second one? All the elevators are blocked out.
Yeah.
Well, the staircases must still be, right?
The stairs were crowded. People were coming down burnt.
Upstairs in Tower 1, the guys from my firehouse were now 10 floors up and climbing.
If we did talk, it was to the people coming down, trying to comfort them, tell them it's all right, get out, stay calm.
I wound up finding a woman in the C staircase. Her arms were all burnt. She was just sitting there, basically in shock. So I picked her up under her arms, and I put her in with a group of guys, and I asked the group of guys to, take it down.
I spoke with one person. I think the highest floor that I had heard was about a survivor from the 80th floor coming down. So we know that that was intact.
We knew it was going to be a long haul getting up there. And you had to try to conserve as much energy as possible, if that was even possible,
I'm hot. I could feel the blood in my neck pumping. I could feel my whole, my whole heart, my whole system is really working.
I knew we had to get up to help people. We had to get up there. I knew we'd get there, but it was just going to take a while.
You're talking about thousands of casualties and thousands of potential casualties.
They was pretty much saying, God bless you, can't believe y'all going up and we're coming down. People, they pretty much said, why are y'all going up there? Get out.
Their concern was to get everybody out. That was the key. As much people out as possible.
Most of the people in Tower 1 came out on the mezzanine above the lobby. Then they'd get out through another building.
All right, I want to use the lobby of 7 as a triage.
The chiefs didn't want anyone going through the lobby doors. First, it was because debris was falling outside. Then, it was people falling.
You don't see it, but you know where it is.
What's that?
And you know that every time you hear that crashing sound, it's a life which is extinguished. It's not something you could get used to. And the sound was so loud.
I just remember looking up, thinking, how bad is it up there that the better option is to jump?
Let's go, get off the corners, let's go! Like something out of the Tower Inferno, like a movie.
Wins News Time, 9:12, a major disaster in New York City this morning. Breaking news now on 1010 Wins. Well, we now have some insight as to what's going on the air here.
The FBI is now investigating reports of a plane hijacking before these crashes we're telling you about at the World Trade Center towers this morning.
Rescue crews are making their way to the scene, and all of this unfolding in one of the busiest places in the world, downtown Manhattan. Again, both towers hit by aircraft.
Again, 2 planes involved in 2 crashes into either tower of the World Trade Center at about 10 to 9 and 5 after 9 this morning.
Pieces of the building and the planes actually landed blocks away. Gédéon was walking with his camera when he found a chunk of the plane engine that had crashed completely through Tower 2.
Don't be kicking stuff over here. This is evidence. No, you don't kick it. All right, just get out of the area. Just go. This is evidence. You're kicking stuff. What's the matter with you?
That was as close as Gédéon would get to the Trade Center, without a firefighter anyway.
So I decided that the smartest thing to do was to slowly walk back to the firehouse and find a way to go to Jules.
We're just getting word now. One of the two planes was hijacked after takeoff from Boston. This is
two airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on our country.
We now have reports of a fire at the Pentagon. A fire at the Pentagon being reported this morning.
I was just saying that officials are calling this an act of terrorism. They're saying that's clearly what it is, clearly not an accident.
Arriving back at the firehouse, and Tony is still alone, and he has no clue of what to do.
The Pentagon's on fucking fire? War. This is war.
And just by listening to him, freaking out and swearing and behaving like I've never seen him behaving, Tony was expressing what we all felt. At that point, I saw the fireman in him taking over.
I can't believe the fucking Pentagon. Somebody has balls.
I mean, a few times he was just pulling his gear and about to rush to the door, realizing that he was the only one in charge of this empty firehouse, and going back to the house watch and looking again at those pictures on TV, and just to make sure that it was real.
We have these two enormous explosions at the World Trade Center here
Tony
in New York.
just wanted to go there.
In the lobby, the chiefs were trying to run the largest rescue operation any of them had ever seen. With next to no information coming in from outside.
You got a phone that's working?
I think the entire world knew more than we did. Everybody had seen the attacks. Everybody had seen the tower burning.
De New York, un avion s'est encastré dans une des deux
Had seen the Pentagon. For us, we didn't have a clue of what was going on outside our lobby.
What elevator's working?
Just like a beehive, that place. Everybody's working on the phone, everybody's working on the radio. Everybody's getting information, sending guys up, getting reports. And just trying to get this thing under control.
At one point, there was even a rumor a third plane was heading in. You got to remember, at that moment, anything seemed possible.
Other than NYPD, Port Authority, police, and the military. And I need that done now. Another fucking plane.
Strategy to get as many people out of the fucking building, let it burn up. We ain't letting you do it.
We got a lot of people with us, so we got to get these people out.
That's the priority.
On top of everything else, just talking to the guys in the stairwells was tough.
Fort David to Battalion 7.
The tower's internal communication setup had been knocked out by the crash. That left fire department radio.
Suddenly, you have hundreds and hundreds of firefighters that have radios.
Command post, Battalion 7.
Seems to become more and more difficult.
Command post, Battalion 7. OEM 1 to face. Please provide me again with your location. Is there anyone in this car? Is there anyone in this car?
We had one guy from the WTC who was trying frantically to reach anyone on the elevators.
69 car. Anyone in this car? Oh, is there anyone in this car?
And going through the list,
Hello, is there anyone in this car?
and there's about 98 elevators in the World Trade Center.
70's on main line. 70 kind of recall capability.
Can't speak.
I'm trying to evaluate which one's good and which aren't.
In the middle of all this, suddenly an elevator opens up. And you see people not having a clue of what's going on, because they've been stuck in there since the first plane hit. I was seeing the look on the firefighters. It was not fear, it was what's going on. Disbelief. That made me panic a little bit. That made me panic. It was the first time I had seen Father Judge, the chaplain, as he's called.
He was in the lobby with us, and I could tell that he was praying. You know, Father Judd, he would at least make eye contact with you and kind of give you a reassuring look. That wasn't occurring, almost like he knew that this was not good.
This is a dangerous way to go out.
Back at the firehouse,
What's up?
off-duty guys were starting to show up.
You know, we're just waiting right now.
What's that?
We're just waiting right now.
Tony was, he just had one thing in his mind.
This is bad.
To go there, and he couldn't.
2 swift alarms right away. And you know the fucking Pentagon is burning now.
What?
The Pentagon's burning.
I want everybody to stay here, and they're going to deploy us as needed. Right now, they got enough guys down there. They want us in case anything else breaks out.
And that's when Chief Burns arrived.
I need a cup of coffee.
Larry Burns joined the fire department in 1957, retired a battalion chief 3 years ago.
I couldn't wait. I had to get down there. Because you know what? They're my firefighters. It's my building. It's my city.
Leave your gear all together, get a flashlight, and a bottle of water.
Okay.
Told the Proby, get your gear, let's go.
I remember Tony asking me to bring him some gloves, medical gloves.
Box of gloves. Go grab a box of gloves.
And by the time I found them and rushed back, they were gone.
The Proby and the retired chief were lost in the crowd, headed down to the Trade Center.
Oh, Lord.
I think at that point, the lobby was pretty empty. There was just a few of us in the lobby, and we were discussing tactics.
This is Tower 1. This is Tower 1.
Put a big one here.
Some of the outlying companies didn't know what Tower 1 was and Tower 2. So we were just trying to help them out by writing it on the desk to make it obvious to people.
It was just before 10 o'clock. A little over an hour since the first plane hit. Firefighters from all over the city were inside those towers. Hundreds of them.
A situation that started bad just gets worse and worse and worse. The World Trade Center, South Tower, which was hit by a plane and racked by an explosion approximately an hour ago, has totally collapsed.
What happened?
If you're just joining us this morning, you're in for a horrific surprise.
The scene here is just one right out of one of the movies you would see in Hollywood. People walking around with cell phones in tears, holding their heads, looking up at what's left of the World Trade Center and just shaking their heads in disbelief.
Out on the street, everyone knew what just happened. The South Tower was gone. They saw it collapse and ran.
I waited. Time slowed down and everything became pitch black.
Everybody all right? Yeah, I'm okay. How's the way out of here?
And then realized, okay, I'm not dead.
Yeah, right here.
So let's turn on my floodlight on top of my camera.
All right, come on down this way. Yeah, let's get out the way we came in. Come on back. Everybody down.
Inside the Trade Center, all Jules and Chief Pfeiffer knew,
Well, yeah, right here.
all anyone knew, was that something had gone terribly wrong.
All right? No, come here.
They asked me, you with the light, help us out.
We gotta get everybody out.
It was pointing my light wherever they needed.
Where's Chief Cowan? Right here. Where's Chief Cowan?
I remember seeing Chief Pfeiffer.
Command post Tower 1. All units. Evacuate the building. Command post to all units.
He gave it right away, very calm, didn't wait. And it was, for him, it was a precaution. It was, okay, something wrong is happening. Let's get everybody out.
Where's that flashlight?
From the tone of his voice, I knew that it was no normal thing. I knew it was time to leave.
I remember saying to the guys, well, we're on our own now.
And for the first time, I looked in someone else's eyes and saw fear, which you don't see with the firemen. We orderly evacuated. It was such a long walk, 21, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13.
And I was going down the stairs. I can remember a fireman resting on the landing and telling them, you know, we've heard a mayday, get out of the building. And, I don't think a lot of them, I know for a fact, did not take it serious.
You start to feel your anxiety build up and take a deep breath and you say, it's gonna be all right. Let's just keep going. My brothers ahead of me, brothers behind me. We're in this together, we're fighting together, and we're gonna do what we have to do.
Sarge? Hey, Pete! Come on, Pete!
I was not even consciously filming. I was just had my camera by my side and pointing the light wherever they needed.
Sorry.
Needed my light to actually help someone, and then I realized it was Father Judge.
Hey, guys, here, we need a hand here.
We saw him lying at the base of the escalator where we were. And I removed his white collar and I opened up his shirt. And I remember checking for his pulse and realizing at that time he was gone.
All right, we got 4 guys.
I'm here. Where's Chief Hayden?
Up the escalator right here. Come on. Up it right here. Come on.
Top of the escalator. Top of the escalator?
Top of the escalator.
After that, we had to figure out how to get out of where we were.
Because if you go out this way, right where we are now, people are still jumping, debris is still falling, and it's too dangerous. You cannot go out this way.
In World Trade Center, we took a hit on that last explosion. Command post is being evacuated this time.
Chief Pfeiffer tells the people carrying Father Judge, okay, stay here.
Which way?
I told them that I'll be back and wait here, and I'll see if the bridge is still here.
Chief Pfeiffer went to check one of the footbridges leading out of the Trade Center. If it was still standing, it'd be their best way out.
What are we gonna do? Oh, there's no way to get home.
Did you hear what happened with the other tower? You see the tower collapse? The top or the whole thing?
It looked like the whole thing, and now what they said was the FBI just came here and they said that a third plane is what did it. Another plane hit it. We'll head down together.
And now I wonder for the first time if Jules is still alive. I never thought about it before.
Honey, it's a terrible, terrible day. I'm sure they're happy.
I realized that Jules could be dead that very moment. And I was feeling so responsible. I was the one who put him in this situation. I had to find Jules.
Gédéon hitched a ride with 3 off-duty firemen, determined to get to the Trade Center the only way they could, in a pickup truck.
Billy Cosgrove!
You should have people come in here, man.
Battalion 1 to Division 1.
We walk and we walk and we walk. And there are maydays being given, and we start to figure out, okay,
We should be able to get out here.
it's much be worse than we think, because you cannot have that many maydays and all that dust and that noise.
That's when I felt the danger for the first time. It was all around you. I mean, every single cell of your body was telling you, you should not be here. The scenery was radically different. I mean, it was this white powder everywhere. Just a few people here and there.
Take yourself as mask. Get masked, we get an extra cylinder, and then we're gonna go in.
And this kind of silence.
You have ambulances straight down. Thank you.
Of course, there's no word on casualties,
You have ambulances straight down.
but suffice to say, the loss of life presumably profound.
Ambulance straight down. Ambulance is straight down.
Of course, at this point, everyone's concern is just getting north, getting away from the World Trade Center, as well as finding out where their families are.
The south tower of the World Trade Center just minutes ago collapsed to the ground. Only one tower is standing at this point.
I have a direct line of sight to what is left of the World Trade Center. The fire continues to burn. I can see the flames through the thick smoke.
Battalion 1 to Chief Calvin.
By this time, Chief Pfeiffer had found a safe exit and tried to radio the men in the lobby. No answer.
So we walked across the bridge back towards the Trade Center. Still trying to call on the radio and not getting through.
The guys that we had left there, they're not there anymore.
They had already gone out another way, carrying the body of Father Michael Judge down the street to St. Peter's Church. They laid his body on the altar. The chief, his aide Eddie Fahey, and Jules walked outside, underneath the footbridge they just crossed, and into a scene that none of them could even comprehend.
And there's debris everywhere. There's dust covering the entire place. And we look, and the tower's here. So we say, okay, probably to something else. The tower is nice, it's standing. The other one, we can't see it, but it's probably just, on the other side, and no one tells us. We have no clue.
Where the Trade Center was just covered with smoke. And that's not unusual for a fire to have a building disappear behind the smoke. And then was it just a sense that this wasn't a good place to stay?
So we walk north.
Just trying to figure out what took place here, and then try to gain some control. So we started to rebuild some sort of structure.
We got everybody out of the lobby. Was in the lobby.
Chief Pfeiffer's priority was to set up a new command post and find his men. Right now, they were coming down the stairs.
At some point, I started to run. I don't even know if I was touching stairs on my way down. When I got about to 3 or 2 is when I started to think of my family, So I gotta get out of here.
When we got out to the lobby, it was unbelievable. Nobody was around the command station. There was nobody at the command station. It looked like the end of the world.
I joked about it. I said the command post was abandoned. The board was set up and nobody was there. I said, oh, this is not a good sign.
I knew there was nothing I could really do. I mean, I was not a fireman. I had absolutely no medical expertise at all. As just a civilian. But as a cameraman, yeah, there was something I could do. And it was to document what was happening. So the cameraman took over and just filmed.
Gédéon had made his way as close to the tower as he could.
Strange enough, I kept the only thing that was my preoccupation was to clean my lens. I don't know if it was a way for me to try to focus on something so I can stay away from the horror of the reality, but that was just my obsession, was my lens needs to be cleaned.
Jules was with Chief Pfeiffer, who was plotting his next move. The firefighters from my house had reached the lobby and scattered.
You know, kind of walking at this point. We knew we were out of the building, felt we were safe. Unfortunately, there were people jumping out of windows. You could see them hitting the ground all around you, debris hitting the ground.
I thought we was going to get out the building, the chiefs will meet up, then we come up with a plan, and then we go back in. That's what I thought it would be something like.
Just before I walked out, a fireman out in the middle of the street was yelling at me, wait, wait, throwing up his hands. And that time I waited, and there was a big thud, and then another thud, and there was two people who had fallen or jumped from way high up.
Get yourself accounted for with Chief Touring down at staging. Let's move. Come on, officers.
Basically, everybody was standing right in the shadow of Tower 1. It was 10:28 in the morning.
And then comes that sound again. And I don't even have time to think at that point. I just run. And it's dead silence. There's nothing. No radio calls, no sound, nothing. And I feel the person who was on top of me get up.
Get out of here. You with me? Yeah.
And I recognize it's Chief Pfeiffer's voice. And I just realized it's just, you know, it jumped on top of me to protect me from all this. Chief Pfeiffer said, okay, let's go now. And we get up. The dust starts to clear because the wind was blowing in the opposite direction.
After that, it was just trying to literally walk around the block and regroup and walk back to the scene and see what we could do.
Less than a block away, Gédéon was still in darkness.
The pounding stopped, and you realize now that you just can't breathe anymore.
We need help! before the car blow up! Come, this way! Let's go before the cars blow up!
At that point, I realized that I was going to die.
Let's go! We're over here behind the SU truck! This way! Keep shouting!
Right here, come to the truck!
Come on, we gotta get out of here. Let's go! You gotta fucking move, man.
This way!
And the only thing I could think about, it was Jules. And I remember telling myself that if I would survive that, I would be a better brother.
Yeah, let's go, you can make it. Help him! Quickly, it's right here. He weighs 400 pounds, dude, you get over here. We're not going to leave here. He's not standing, you need to come over here and fucking help.
The last person Gideon had filmed was now lying in the middle of the street.
Grab his leg. Buddy, where's he open?
This guy must have been standing outside in the street when everything collapsed. And he survived it.
And with the help of an FBI agent, he walked him to safety.
And we can't see a thing.
You have to walk, sir, you have to walk. You're almost there, come on. Yeah.
And he would pass out every second, so it was very difficult to carry him.
Thank you, Lord. No! Moses! Shit. Do you have some water, something to drink? Thanks. Open your mouth, because I need the water too. Put it out. Thanks.
I had been in this street 3 times in the last hour. The first time, it was full of people. The second time, everybody was running away from it. And the third time, getting out of the last collapse, there was just nobody. And everything was white. Everything was covered by the dust.
Holy shit.
Scene I have ever seen. I cannot describe what took place.
It is a scene just not to be believed. The smoke's still billowing. What we do have is a lockdown. You can't get in, you can't get out, you can't go up, you can't go down.
I see that I'm still in the middle of the street, and I see there is a little deli. It seems to be open in the corner.
Yeah, we're getting on too now.
Oh, okay. Come on, guys.
A lot of people injured. Firefighters, bloody nose, things like that. And then it hits me. Now, where is my brother?
Go back here.
I start realizing that I've probably lost my brother. So I try to go back to the World Trade Center. I need to go find my brother.
Where are the guys? I have no idea. I was with Chief Pfeiffer.
And I'm in the middle of the street walking, and a cop approached me and says, you know, who are you with?
I'm with the chief of Battalion 1.
Oh, you're Battalion 1?
Yes.
You got ID?
I don't have ID. I have my letter of, from the commissioner.
Take your letter and your camera and get out of here. All right? Go.
So I go back up, walk north, not really knowing where I'm going.
Police department? No, I'm making a documentary on the fire department.
Come on, this ain't fucking Disneyland. Let's go.
And after a while, I said, there's nothing I can do here. I need to go back to the firehouse. Maybe they'll have some news. And maybe he's already back there. But at that point, I think he's dead. And it becomes too overwhelming.
Walking back to the firehouse and not trying to think for 1 second about Jules. That was too much.
Don't worry, honey. We'll stand.
Everyone's asking me, what happened, what happened? I said, hell. Hell is what happened.
It just came down, and it wasn't supposed to come down.
Very emotional. A lot of guys are crying. I'm crying.
Where the fuck was it? I couldn't get back in. They wouldn't let me up. Well, leave the oxygen in. Hold up.
Still, we don't know how many guys are missing.
Down here looking.
I got thrown into 2 ambulances. We bolted, we ran.
I never got so many hugs in my life. They were glad to be alive hugs. It was a great thing to know that people were surviving this.
I thought you guys were dead.
Not the only one. I thought I was dead.
We lost so much in that 2-hour period.
How you doing, all right?
We felt like we got the hell kicked out of us.
Shot, I don't know what to do, man. Go back down there or what? Fucking get shot.
Is everyone okay? You guys were in the building? Yeah.
So many thoughts and emotions, and we got to call our loved ones, tell them we were okay.
You made it out. You just made it out.
I'm never so happy to hear my mother's voice.
Little to little, the guys started to come back, one by one. Again, the cameraman would just film.
And it was just like, you heard the ground rumble, and it was just fucking debris was just chasing you. We were running, hauling ass.
So it was just filming them coming back and asking them if they had seen Jules. And nobody could answer this question.
What's up, brother? What's up?
It was extremely frustrating and annoying. One guy from the firehouse came to me and I asked him, have you seen Jules? Do you know where he is? And he looked at me and he said, yes, he's behind you. And I turned over and Jules was there in the firehouse. I didn't even see him coming in. And it was like meeting for the first time.
Écoutez-moi, moi j'étais en vie, je savais pas si tu étais dans le camion.
Ask Jules if he's all right. He tells me yes. He tells me that he was all that time in the lobby.
I never thought I was so happy to meet my brother, that's for sure. Cry like babies for about 10 minutes.
C'est pas beau des gens qui sont heureux. Dès qu'on est arrivé, il y en avait deux qui étaient tombés à travers.
I tell him, I know now what it's like to think you're going to die.
Oh, fuck, man. We're worried about you. You don't know what happened to you guys. Oh, God. Everybody's all right? Everybody's accounted for?
Right here.
You got everybody? Right here. Everybody's accounted for?
Just an police.
You all right? What's up, Patty?
I can't believe we all made it out. How did we make it out of that building? 30 seconds, another 2 flights higher. Why am I alive? So many others are dead.
We got down to the lobby and we saw they abandoned the command post. We knew we were in trouble.
We came down. It was much worse than it was when we went up.
Yeah. That's what I hear.
Right? We went up and they had everything set up. We came down. It was desolate. It was like, holy shit.
We came down to the lobby. It was like the first thing there was. There was nobody there. Where the fuck? What do we do? We made it outside. We made it about a block.
We made it at least 2 blocks, and we started running, floor by floor, instead of popping out.
It was like if they had detonated.
Yeah,
if they were planned to take down a building. Boom, 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 boom.
All the way down. I was watching it and running. Just ran up West Street. And then you just sort of this cloud of shit chasing you down.
Couldn't outrun it.
West Street. I couldn't outrun it. So what'd you do? I jumped behind a battalion car. I hit under the car. I was just waiting to die.
The scene here is reminiscent of a nuclear winter.
Right now, everyone is walking around with masks covering their face. There's people just wandering the streets, covered in blood, covered in plaster. They were near the site when the buildings collapsed.
We're on about the 20th floor. I hear this fucking rumbling, and I guess that's when 2 came down. I guess it hit 1, crushed out the Marriott, whatever. We're fucking dead.
I guess the best way to sum this up is the World Trade Center is no more.
Sit down. The loss of life, one can only imagine, is just enormous. It must be incomprehensible at this point.
They have a fireman's body in house on the floor. They dragged him in, but they can't identify him because the shirt where his name is ripped and it's only half a body.
The building started shaking. The guy started running, and then by the time I got to the bottom, there was bodies hitting the ground.
Chaplain, we carried out the chaplain. He was dead. It exploded, and we all just blew us all in.
The fire department chaplain?
Yeah. Whole crack. He had no pulse, nothing.
The way we lucked out, we were in 1. 2 fell first, and then they told us to get out. 2 fell first? 2 fell first. I can't figure this out.
When you guys came,
it fell while we were in the building.
Yeah, that's why we were lucky. When you guys came out of the building, 2 was already gone.
Yeah, 2 was gone, but we came out of 1.
Watch it on the news. 2 fell. 1 didn't fall first.
That's why they were getting us out.
The United States will hunt down and punish those responsible for these cowardly acts.
I'm going to want a list of the New York City firefighters and officers that are willing to go back to work again. Okay, we probably won't be leaving for at least a half hour, but I want to get a list. And then
I don't know why myself and the other guys were picked to survive this.
We're going to need masks down there.
In a way, I feel that there must be a reason.
And then we'll leave as soon as we get the order from division.
What am I supposed to do to earn this? It's not easy being a survivor.
Put your head back now, gently. Okay?
Yeah.
Oh, that day changed everything.
I think I got fibers in there. You got fibers in there.
When I came back that day to the firehouse, one firefighter came to me and he said, you know, yesterday you had one brother. Today you have 50.
Good to see you.
It's hard to even describe the emotions in the firehouse that day. On one hand, you celebrate.
Very frightful day, man. Very happy to be here.
Somehow the guys from our house, they got out.
Everybody come back one by one at the firehouse, except one.
Did you see Tony over there, Benetatos?
Tony. Benetatos is the only one that...
He were all accounted for, except for Tony. Everybody was wondering about Tony.
At the same time, we knew hundreds of firefighters, thousands of people had to have died in those towers. And every hour that passed, we were more certain Tony Benetatos was one of them.
Hey, guys, Deputy Chief Hill called. 1st Division, he doesn't want anybody else down here right now. They got 1 million guys that are standing around doing nothing. So it's a direct order from Hill.
I'd come in from home, and yeah, we were ordered to stay at the firehouse. But the truth is, the guys had to go back. Had to start digging for survivors.
That fucking mentality, get in there, get in there, get in there, get the people out. It's bred in you, it's programmed into you.
I had to go back and find the kid.
It's gone, man. 7 came down.
I got down there just as 7 World Trade finally collapsed.
Hey, Rick, they've been going live with these.
No sign of Tony anywhere. It had to be almost 6 o'clock, 9 hours after everything started, that Tony just walked in.
I walked in like a daze. They were all like, hey, it's Benetatos, you're all right.
What's wrong with your hand? Anything? No. No? Yeah. You all right?
Yeah.
Chill out.
How you doing? You okay? Yeah, I'm all right. Oh, what happened on your end?
I was in the building.
Were you? Is everyone from the house? Everyone?
Everybody accounted for. Sit down over there, grab some benches. You want something to drink? Want something to eat?
How you doing, Tony? Some fruit, nice vitamin C there for you. You all right?
So everyone's accounted for?
Everyone here.
Everyone who was out at the box?
He was the last one.
You motherfuckers, man. I was so sure you dudes were dead. I'm fucking digging through shit. And you fuckers are chilling here eating oranges? And I'm roaming around looking for you.
The last one that went out there came back, and we were all okay.
I left here right after the first collapse.
Turns out, Tony had been with Larry Burns the whole time, the probie and the retired chief. They were right there when Tower 1 came down.
We go into the various surrounding buildings.
Hello! We're the street! Hello! Come to the light!
Trying to calm people down.
Stay where you are. Stay here until you hear different.
Directing people to go to the Brooklyn Bridge to get off the island.
Everybody please evacuate the area immediately.
There's people crying. People injured. The one that sticks out in my mind is there's a guy, his arm had gotten like severed here, and he was holding his right arm and his left as he was running. And he was screaming as I was hiking, I need a medic, I got a bad bleed. You know, and that kind of shocked me. We kept going. I checked all the rigs. There were rigs crushed, paramedic trucks covered with rubble, flipped. Fires burning everywhere, huge fires. That whole day, I just searched through rubble, lifting things up, checking underneath.
It was hard for him. It was very hard for him. He's only been a firefighter for, a couple of months. But he proved himself that day to all the guys, yeah.
There was so much that we didn't know about that first day. Who had attacked us, how, why. All we knew is that nothing would ever be the same.
I must have saw about 7 or 8 bodies flying through the air, coming from 8 floors up.
And then, of course, the images of the replay that never stops of the planes hitting, the towers coming down. And it was like, okay, enough TV. Thankfully, the power went out about that time, so it was a relief.
Put this generator maybe in the courtyard, and then we'll hook the lights into it. I got 2 more sets of lights coming.
The entire downtown Manhattan lose power. It was really this feeling that we're going to be there for a long time.
At the firehouse that night, we just tried to take it all in.
It's weird, like, look at the date.
911?
That's the date.
But that's just it, the whole thing. They know we're all ready for New Year's Eve. They were all ready for this, we're all ready for that. We're not ready for September 11th.
Has anybody seen the news? What else happened?
You know what? I'm afraid to watch the news.
So both towers are completely level?
Both towers, 3 buildings are fucking completely fucking gone.
4, 5, 6, 7 is gone. They're all gone.
The roof of the Marriott, we were on the roof of the Marriott. There was parts all over the fucking place. Legs, feet. It was nasty.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. One of the things that sticks with me more than everything I saw is I sat down next to Ted. He looked real bad. I said, Tony, man, it was raining bodies. And just the way he said it, man, the man had been through hell.
Good evening. Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts.
It's a very depressed, dismal, miserable mood.
Secretaries, businessmen and women, military...
Hundreds of your firemen, thousands of civilians are gone. As quickly as you blow out a match, they're gone. Flip a switch, they're gone. That's it. These buildings came down. Gone.
See them. It's hard to believe they're not there. They're not there.
It was my first reaction.
They're gone.
There is no more World Trade Center.
No.
It did happen, right? It's not something that I'm going to close my eyes and open them again and I'm going to see the tower, right? It's not there.
You know, and the only thing you have really, and the only thing that really kept it all together was us as a group, as a body, as a firehouse.
Around midnight, we sent Tony up to lower the flag to half-mast. Again.
There's going to be a lot of pain to deal with in the future. I have a pretty good friend who was in my academy class in my squad, who's among the missing. A lot of guys, we all lost friends and family.
I don't want to ever have to put that thing at half-mast again for the rest of my career. That's it.
Until the recall ends, it's 24 on, 24 off, 24 on, 24 off.
We got word that we'd start digging in the morning. Some of the guys with wives and kids went home, just for a few hours. They knew it might be days before they'd see their families again.
My son was sleeping. I picked him up, and I put him in my bed, and I wanted him to be with me. And normally, I would take him out of my bed and put him in his own bed, but this night was the opposite. He didn't mind that. He actually had a big smile on his face, and it was wonderful to see that smile again.
Probably the best entrance I ever made to a place.
And the kids came out, and we just kind of all cried in one big hug. And it was, we just cried.
I got 1 2 there right here. Get a couple more guys out here. We'll set up a little line. Okay, just let me climb up there. Keep the 3.5 in the middle so we
Came back to the firehouse the next day. I couldn't wait to get back, actually, because I wanted to get down there. I figured, well, we're going to have plenty of people that are going to be trapped, for sure. We're going to get them out. We always do.
I don't know if anyone's really pulled themselves together.
Focus on what you're doing today. I mean, time enough in a couple of weeks to really take in what happened to our guys. But today, you must focus on what you're doing. Go in teams of 2. One guy falls through a hole, you're gonna have a guy there that knows you fell in that hole.
Take a ride.
We're all alive. That's more than we could have possibly hoped for. So our job now is to go and do whatever needs to be done. And do it as much and as hard as we can for as long as they'll let us.
Some of the guys took a city bus down to what the media was already calling Ground Zero.
You guys got extra surgical gloves. You guys didn't put them in your pockets.
Some firemen called it the pile. For us, it was still the trade center, even if it was gone.
Hey guys, if you hear 3 horns, that means something might be coming down. So keep your eyes open when you're walking around down there.
And I just realized something that I always wanted to deny is how evil can be.
I need 5 firefighters, 19 and 12.
We went down there and formed up companies, 5-man and an officer.
Go, let's go.
We went to work right away, trying to look for survivors.
Try to get some buckets back here. Buckets!
Guys were digging fast, passing those buckets quick. Digging frantically.
Bucket! Bucket! Hey, watch your back, guys.
We'd be digging, and all of a sudden, everybody would say, quiet. And the whole place would get quiet, and people would look.
Hello?
And then slowly they would go back to work and start again. And that's how things went down there.
I remember the first time I went there was like, you know, gateway to hell.
You'd never know unless you were there. But the pile itself seemed to have a life of its own. It moved and shifted underneath us. Every step you took, you could fall 30 or 40 feet into a void. It spewed fire when we dug into it and had buried thousands of people beyond our reach.
All we saw was steel, and I didn't know how we were going to get below that. Like, how are we going to find anybody in this?
You know, and you get up on this pile and you're digging with a shovel or you're digging with a pickaxe or something like that. Your attempts seem futile. And, you know, it's like a drop in the bucket.
But you believed in your heart there was somebody down there. And if you could have found one person, you know, that was well worth it.
Need more water!
Whatever risk you were putting yourself at, just to find anybody, that's what drives the guys.
Try to get some buckets back here.
We'd clear what we could by hand. And the iron workers would come in, cut the steel beams, and lift them out. Then we'd just start digging again.
You have 2 110-story office buildings. You don't find a desk. You don't find a chair. You don't find a telephone, a computer. The biggest piece of a telephone I found was half of the keypad, and it was about this big. The building collapsed to dust. How are we supposed to find anybody in this that there's nothing left of the building?
Bucket!
You find a little spot, and you just keep going and digging and digging and trying to find something. And you find a foot, and then they say the building's gonna collapse, and you run away.
Go, go, go!
Okay.
And then we would go back and mostly just dug. We found a body. It was a girl. She was dead. She was definitely dead. All her clothes had been burned off her. She looked to be pregnant. Some people thought maybe she was just bloated, but I don't think so. She was encased in rubble. And we had her about halfway uncovered. We had getting the body bag ready, and then they told us to run. And we ran. So I never got to see if they got her out. It would have felt good saying, all right, at least I got one person out. One family will be able to have a decent funeral.
Our first shift was 24 hours, and in all that time, there was one person pulled out alive. One. It was beyond discouraging. It was even hard to understand. It was weird in a way. Walking back to the firehouse, people were cheering us. But we sure didn't feel like heroes. Every day, total strangers were showing up with supplies.
Somebody said that if you could still use towels, so that's the end of the towels.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
They opened up the doors, and lo and behold, deliveries were coming by the ton.
Kitchen. Or just go right around the corner, just dump them on the floor.
You can't eat all the cookies they're giving you.
No.
I know it's early in the operation here, but I just wanted to thank everyone for all the hard work that they've been doing. How we're here, only God knows. But again, guys, thank you so much. You have no idea how much love I have.
Check the lockers, bro. Check the lockers, all the lockers, take whatever.
It's something special, you know, when guys are relentless. And just going back and forth, guys with nails in their hand, taping it up, gashes, blood everywhere, just taping it up and saying, let's go back, let's see what we can do to make this situation a little better. There's got to be people down there still alive. There has to be.
Listen, we try to keep hope. And we looked everywhere. We even crawled down into the stores and the subway tunnels underneath the site. But as days turned into weeks, you began to accept. There just wasn't anybody to find. But we never stopped looking.
Hey, Chief.
Yes, sir.
We got another body over here.
Firemen deal with ugly things every day. It's part of the job. But this was worse.
You have that body bag?
Day after day, it pushed guys to their limit, maybe past it.
A lot of guys don't know if they're gonna do the job anymore. I know it's either this or the Army now. And I like saving lives. I don't like taking them. But after what I saw, if my country decides to send me to go kill, I'll do it now.
Every night around dinner time, the fire department would put out a list of firefighters confirmed dead. And every night, that list got longer.
It is with regret that the department announces the deaths of the following members. Battalion Chief John P. Williamson. Firefighter William Henry. Firefighter Eric T. Allen. Firefighter Manuel Mojica. Firefighter Lawrence J. Virgilio. Firefighter Timothy Haskell. Firefighter Thomas P. Hannison. Firefighter John A. Ventura. Firefighter John F.
We lost so many people, that everybody has lost dear friends, and not just one or two, but dozens.
Most days there was a memorial service for some guy you knew. Some days 2 or 3, some days 4. One of those services was for Kevin Pfeiffer, the chief's brother. He was last seen in the stairs of Tower 1, directing guys to the fastest way out of the building.
I would say that Chief Pfeiffer's brother saved my life. Saved a lot of lives. And I remember walking down West Street and just remembering saying, you know, how much my brother and I used to love being downtown and doing this job. And how now I didn't love it anymore.
Some of the guys hiked up the stairs in a building near the site, but not to put out a fire or rescue civilians. They made the climb to lift our spirits.
It's like our moment in time, our disaster to handle. Every generation's gone through it. Some struggle more than others. We just have to try to take it for what it's worth and go on. As you see, little by little, life starting to go on.
A few weeks passed, and we got new rigs. Well, used rigs, to replace Engine 7 and Ladder 1. They're still buried in there somewhere, under the pile. Eventually, we started going on runs again.
Feels good, though.
playing pranks again and trying our best to love the job again. But things will never be the way they were.
Every now and then still wonder, is it really true, you know? I know it happened, but I don't know. How do you deal with something like this? It's the 11th every day for me when I wake up. Do you want the new tape?
As for Jules and Gédéon, it's strange how things work out. In the beginning, they came to me and they said, let's make a documentary about a boy becoming a man during his 9-month probationary period. Turns out Tony became a man in about 9 hours, trying to help out on 9/11. You know how you can tell that? He's not bragging about it.
It said to Phil. We were the only ones on the ticket. It said to Phil 1075.
Do I feel like it's given me more of a sense of self-worth? Yes. Has it made me a man? No. What's a man? You know, I'll still watch cartoons and do my stupid things. I'm just a person who tries to do good, just like every other person in the fire department.
For the fire department, now it's about rebuilding. Somehow. At our firehouse, we've already got new probies to break in.
You get one chance to make a first impression.
2 guys fresh out of the academy. It's strange to think they'll never know what it was like to be a New York City fireman before September 11th. And they'll never really understand what we lost that day. All we can do is tell them the stories and show them the tape.
The valley is hushed, and the flowers are all dying. The meadow here is white with the winter snow. I stand in the place where Danny's lying. I say a silent prayer. Somehow I know he hears me there. So soft I thread above him, so now he sleeps in peace. He hears Danny's voice no more. Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen, and down the mountainside. The summer's gone, and all the flowers are dying. 'Tis you, must go, and I must bide. But come you back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. 'Tis I'll be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, I love you so. And when you come, and all the flowers are dying, and I am dead, as dead I well may be, you'll come and find the place where I am lying, and kneel and say an Ave there for me. And I will hear the soft you thread above me, and on my grave will warmer, sweeter be. For you will bend and tell me that you love